Good day and welcome from Yoga Dharma TV. So this is a primary series standing postures only talk through. Daniel's going to be demonstrating, I'm going to be instructing. There will be some verbal adjustments, there'll be some verbal modifications. Ideally you will have practiced before with us or with another authorized teacher. If not, you might want to just have a look at some of our teaching tutorials on our YouTube channel, just to think about correct alignment and sequence. Otherwise, we're all ready to go. So Daniel, will you stand at the front of your mat with your feet together in Samasahiti? So hands by the side, fingers pointing down towards the outside of your feet. On the inhalation, the arms are drawn overhead and you look up through the raised thumbs. On the exhalation, forward bend, hands on the floor beside the feet. Inhale, look up. Exhale, go step or jump back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, draw the hips back to downward dog. So this is the first of 5 Surya Namaskar A's. So the gaze is towards the navel. The hips are drawing back to the wall behind you and you're pushing down through the heels. You're going to keep the back of the neck relaxed. As you take your next inhale, you're going to look and step or jump forwards. On the exhalation, take the forehead to the shins. On the inhalation, stand up and draw the arms overhead with you, looking up. And then exhale, hands back to Samasahiti. On your inhale, repeat, draw the arms overhead, look up. Exhale, forward bend, hands on the floor, besides the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, step or jump back to a press up position. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, draw the hips back to downward facing dog. Number 2 of 5. So then he's going to spread his fingers wide evenly and keep the hands shoulder width apart. He's going to relax the toes and keep the feet hip distance apart. With the back of the neck relaxed, he's going to draw back the hips and push down through the heels. On the next inhale, look and jump or step forwards. Exhale, forehead to shins. Inhale, rise, drawing the arms overhead, looking up. Exhale, hands back by your side again. Inhale, arms overhead, look up. Exhale, forward bend, hands on the floor beside the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, step or jump back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, draw the hips back to downward facing dog. This is number 3 of 5. So the hands are shoulder width apart, the fingers divided evenly. The shoulder blades are drawing back. The hips are drawing back. And you're pushing down into the heels. Keeping your gaze steady at the navel. On your next inhale, look and step or jump forwards. Exhale, forehead to shins. Inhale, rise, draw the arms overhead, look up. Exhale, back to Samasahiti. Inhale, arms overhead, look up. Exhale, forward bend, hands on the floor beside the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, go back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, hips back to downward facing dog. Number 4 of 5. The gaze is at the navel, breathing deeply in the back of the throat. The tummy below the navel starts to draw towards the back of the spine. The hips are drawing back behind you as you push down through your heels. On your next inhale, look and step or jump forwards. Exhale, drop the forehead to the shins. Inhale, arms overhead, look up. Exhale, Samasahiti. Number 5, inhale, arms overhead, look up. Exhale, forward bend, hands on the floor beside the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, lift the hips and step or jump back to your press up. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we want to divide the weight evenly between the two hands and divide the weight evenly between both feet. The back of the neck is long and relaxed. The gaze is steady at the navel, and we're breathing deeply in the back of our throat. On your next inhale, look and jump forwards. Exhale, forehead to shins. Inhale, rise, arms overhead, look up. Exhale, Samasthiti. So now we move into Surya Namaskar B. So on the inhale this time, you drop the hips, knees bend, arms overhead, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, drop the hands on the floor again. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, step or jump back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, we step the right foot between the hands into warrior one, arms overhead, look up. Then exhale, put the hands back on the floor into press up. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, now step your left foot between the hands into warrior one. Draw the arms overhead, look up. Exhale again, drop the hands and go back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, draw the hips back to downward dog. So we have 5 breaths again in Ardha Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. So relax the back of your neck, draw back your shoulder blades, draw back your hips, push down through your heels while you lift up the knees and thighs. On your next inhale, look and step or jump forwards. Exhale, drop the forehead to the shins. Inhale, come back into Utkatasana and then rise all the way up to standing and then exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, Utkatasana, arms overhead, look up. Exhale, hands on the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, lift the hips and once more go back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, draw the hips back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, bring your right foot between the hands, arms overhead, look up. So warrior one. Exhale, drop the hands on the floor, step back to press up. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left foot into warrior one, arms overhead, look up. Make sure that back foot's at 45 degrees. Your hips are square, you're lifting your chest and you're looking up. Exhale, hands on the floor, step back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, hips back to downward facing dog. Another 5 breaths in Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The gaze is steady at the navel. We're breathing deeply in the back of the throat. We're drawing back the hips, pushing into the heels, and then squeezing and lifting those inner thighs. Next inhale, look and jump forwards. Exhale, drop the forehead to the shins. Inhale, Utkatasana, and then rise all the way back to standing. Exhale, Samasthiti. One more. Inhale. Exhale, hands on the floor. Inhale, look up. Exhale, go back to press up. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, it's your right leg into warrior one. Draw the arms overhead, look up. All one breath. Exhale, hands back into press up. Step back. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, warrior one, look up. So your left foot through. Look up through the thumbs. Exhale, hands into press up. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. It's that last one. So maintain a nice, deep, steady, even breath. Stay in control of your breath. Keep your gaze steady. Relax the back of your neck. Draw your hips back and push into your heels. On your next inhale, look and step or jump forwards. Exhale, forehead to shins. Inhale, Utkatasana and rise up. Exhale, Samasahiti. So from Samasahiti, we step the feet wide and prepare for Padangusthasana. So hands on the hips, feet wide. Exhale, forward bend and grab those big toes. On your next inhale, lift the chest and look ahead of you. On the exhale, drop the chest. Now the gaze is behind you. So we have our fingers around the big toes. We take the elbows wide and we draw back the shoulders. Now we're going to tip the hips forward slightly, and as we do so, we squeeze and lift the inner thighs, taking the top of our chest down towards the tops of our feet. On your next inhale, simply look up. Now place the hands beneath the feet as you exhale, beneath the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, drop the forehead and look behind you again. And now press the feet into the hands. As you do so, draw the shoulder blades back and keep lengthening the top of your chest towards the top of your feet. You want to feel the hips pivoting right over the heels. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands waist. Inhale, rise. And then exhale, drop the hands and step your feet back into Samasahiti. So the next posture is Utthita Trikonasana. So on your inhale, your right leg goes back and you're standing on the side of your mat with your arms wide. Your left foot turns in, your right foot turns out. Now keep your back foot at 45 degrees. As you exhale, reach down and grab the big toe of your right foot. And on the inhale, lift the chest and look up through that raised thumb. Now I want you to lift up the left hip and drop the right hip. See if you can lift your trunk up out of your right hip as you lift the chest and draw back the shoulder blades, keeping your gaze steady. As you exhale, drop the gaze. As you inhale, rise. And as you exhale, turn your right foot in, your left foot out. Grab your big toe and then inhale, looking up through the raised thumb. So lift your chest, draw back the shoulder blades. Lift up your right hip and feel that left hip dropping down and tucking beneath you. Keep your gaze steady through that raised thumb. On your next exhale, look down. On your inhale, rise again as we turn into reverse Trikonasana. So you turn all the way around, face the back of your mat. As you exhale, forward bend. Now your left hand goes on the outside of your right foot and your right hand reaches up on the inhale. And you might need to put your hand on the top of your hip. That's fine. You might need to shorten your stance slightly, bring the legs close together slightly. Otherwise, lift the chest, draw back the shoulder blades. Pull the right hip back to keep your hips square. On your exhale, look down. On your inhale, rise. I want you to swivel around on the heels, face the front of your mat, so hips square to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward bend again. Now your right hand goes to the outside of your left foot. As you inhale, lift the chest, raise the arm, and look up. See if you can stack your arms and shoulders, but keep your hips square. If you push through your left foot, but draw your left foot back, that should start to square your hips for you. On your exhale, look down. On your inhale, rise. You're facing the side of your mat with your arms wide. And then exhale, step back to Samasahiti. So the next posture is Utthita Parshvakonasana. So on your inhale, your right leg goes back again, but let's go wider than last posture. Now bend your right knee and turn your left foot in, your right foot out. As you exhale, the right hand goes on the floor on the outside of your right foot. So your right hand, Daniel, the other hand. And then on the inhale, you lift the other arm and look at the palm. So I want you to lift your chest up nice and high and draw back the shoulder blades and feel that your left hip is lifting up and rolling back At the same time, your right hip sort of tucks underneath, and then your knee presses into the arm. The gaze is at the palm. Look down on your exhale, rise on your inhale, and let's do the other side. So right toes in, left toes out. Your left knee bends. You're putting the left hand to the outside of your left foot. As you inhale, sweep that right arm up and under and look at the palm. Let's lift up the chest nice and high again and draw back the shoulder blades. You're going to feel that right hip lift up and roll back, and your left hip's going to tuck under as you bring the knee into the back of the arm. Exhale, look down. Inhale, rise. You're going to turn all the way around again, face the back of the mat. So I'm going to talk us through a modified version. On the exhale, you're going to drop your back knee to the floor, turn to look over your bent knee, lift the left arm, and then hook your elbows over the knee, and bring your hands into prayer in front of the chest. So lift your chest, draw back the shoulder blades. Bring your hands into the front of the chest and press the palms firmly together. Okay, look down on your exhale. Rise on your inhale. I want you to swivel around and repeat. As you exhale, drop your right knee and then hook your right elbow over your left knee and repeat. Press the hands together, bring them into the chest and draw back the shoulder blades. On your exhale, look down. On your inhale, rise. Face the side of your mat with your arms wide. As you exhale, once more, step back to the front of your mat. From Samasahiti, on the inhale, the next posture is the wide-legged forward bend sequence, Parsvottanasana. So right leg goes back, you're facing the side of your mat. Your hands are on your hips and your feet are straight. On the exhale, you drop the chest down, so the hands to the floor. Forward bend, hands to the floor. On the inhale, you lift the chest and look up. And on the exhale, you drop the chest and the gaze stays behind you now. So we're going to pull the fingers back and line them up with the tips of the toes. We're dividing the fingers evenly and pressing the palms of the hands into the floor. And then we're going to bring the hips slightly forward so they're right above the heels. And then we're going to squeeze and lift the inner thighs. On your inhale, lift the chest, look up. On your exhale, hands on the waist. On your inhale, rise. Exhale. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop forward again. Keep the hands on the hips, elbows up. The gaze is once more behind you. So bring the hips forward. So line up those sit bones above the heels. At the same time, you have to squeeze and lift your inner thighs. You want to drop the trunk down between the thighs if you can. On your inhale, rise. Exhale, now take the hands behind the back and interlock the fingers. Clasp the hands together. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, let's forward bend again. Dropping the arms to the floor behind the back of the head. So if you're experienced, you'll be skimming the crown of the head along the floor, and the arms will be falling effortlessly to the floor behind the head. On your next inhale, rise. Exhale, hands back on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, forward bend one last time. This time, grab the big toes. On your next inhale, lift the chest, look up. On the exhale, drop the chest. Now the gaze is behind you. So we're going to gently pull up on the toes, take the elbows wide, and draw back the shoulder blades. And one more time, bring the hips forward, let them sit above the heels as you squeeze and lift the inner thighs. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands waist. Inhale, rise. And then exhale, again, step back to the front of your mat in Samasahiti. So on the inhale, the next posture is Parsvottanasana. So slide the hands behind the back in reverse prayer or grab the elbows. Then take a short step back with your right foot and turn around to face the back of your mat. Make sure your back foot's turned fully around. And on the exhale, forward bend over the right leg. Dropping the tummy first towards the thigh and then the chest towards the knee. Keep the back of your neck long and relaxed. Press the hands together and lift the elbows. On your inhale, rise, and then again turn around to face the front of your mat. Make sure that right foot turns in as you exhale, forward bend. So if you press firmly into the left foot and see if you can draw that left leg back towards the hip socket so you make the space to drop your tummy over that left leg. Inhale, rise, turn to face the side of your mat with your arms wide, and then exhale, step back to the front of your mat. So Daniel might turn around to face the camera now, to the side of your mat. So the next posture is Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. So the left hand goes on the left hip, and then you're going to lift up the right foot, grab the big toe with your right hand, and as you exhale, stretch that leg out in front of you, and start to take your forehead to your shin, or bring the shin towards the forehead. I won't hold you too long. Lift the chest and look up on the inhale. As you exhale, swing the leg out to the right, look over the shoulder. Inhale, bring the leg back to center. As you exhale, just drop the forehead for 1, then kick the leg out, hands on the waist for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Samasthiti, drop the right leg. On your next inhale, right hand on the right hip, and then lift the left foot and grab the big toe. As you exhale, stretch the leg out, lift your shin and drop the forehead. As you inhale, look up. Exhale, swing the leg out to the side and look over the opposite shoulder. And then inhale, bring the leg back again. Just one exhale, forehead and shin towards one another, hands back on the hips, leg extended. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Samasthiti. Okay, Daniel's going to stay here. Normally you step back to the front of your mat. He's going to stay here. So on the inhalation, the next posture is half lotus bound forward bend. Okay, Daniel's going to do tree for us today. I've been teaching in this series, so he's not quite up to his next posture. Otherwise, I'll talk you through the full posture. So inhale, right leg into tree, Daniel, Vrksasana, hands into prayer. If you're doing the full posture, on the inhalation, bring the right leg into half lotus. Bind the right leg over the right hand over the right foot, and then exhale, forward bend, dropping your left hand to the floor. Take your forehead to the shin and start to square your shoulders. And gaze at the third eye. On your next inhale, look up. Exhale, soften the standing knee. Inhale, rise. And then everyone exhale back to Samasthiti. On the inhale, let's do the left side. So you can do tree with Daniel, or you can bring the left leg into half lotus. And you bind the left hand over the left foot behind the back, and you exhale, forward bend. This time the right hand goes on the floor. You drop the forehead to the shin and gaze at the third eye. So you might want to drop the right shoulder, draw the left shoulder back, and then extend the sternum as you take the forehead towards the shin. Look up on the inhale, soften the knee on the exhale, rise on the inhale, and everyone Samasthiti on the exhale. So we're going to back to the front of our mats, all at the front of our mats again. Next posture, Utthasana. Inhale, drop the hips, bend the knees, draw the arms overhead, look up. Drop your shoulder blades, keep your chest open, relax the back of your neck. Exhale, put the hands on the floor beside the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, step or jump back to press up. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, hips back to downward dog. On your inhale, bring the right foot into warrior one again. So right foot between the hands, draw the arms overhead. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So make sure the back foot is turning at 45 degrees. Make sure your right knee is directly over the ankle. And then start to bring your left hip forward and attempt to square the hips. Now just gently tuck the tailbone or lift the pubis up slightly. So you start to bring the pelvis into neutral and engage your belly muscles. On the exhale, keep the arms overhead and just swivel around on the feet and face the back of your mat. And then inhale, look up again. Now make sure that back foot's turned in at 45 degrees again. Make sure your front knee is directly over the ankle. And now again, you're bringing that right hip forward. Try your best to square the hips and keep your back heel on the floor. And I just want you to draw the belly in below the navel gently to engage the belly muscles and stretch the groin. This time on the exhale, you drop the left arm in front of you, the right arm behind you into Warrior Two. Your gaze is through the middle finger of your leading hand. Now the pelvis is opening up from the center. So your right hip lifts up and rolls back, and that left front knee lifts up and rolls away from your midline. And again, just draw the tummy in below the navel just to start engaging the tummy muscles. On your exhale, keep the arms extended and then again swivel around. So you're looking through the right middle finger. Let's repeat. Make sure the back foot, you can let the back foot drop away to more a 90 degrees angle. Lift the chest, drop the shoulder blades, drop that tailbone slightly. As you exhale, place the hands on the floor beside the foot and step back to your press up position. Inhale, lift the chest into your back bend. Exhale, hips back to downward dog. On your inhale, look and then jump through into seated or just sit down. So into Dandasana, so legs out in front of you, feet flat, hands on the floor beside the hips. So that's the end of this video. That's the primary standing sequence. There are some modifications in there for you. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, maybe you'd like to press the subscribe button. You might want to like the video. If you have any comments, there's a comment box down, I think down the bottom of the screen. Okay, I really hope you've enjoyed this. This has been Yoga Dharma YouTube video team. Thank you very much. Tune in again and bye for now.